think he just took a crap. I smell a turd. Oh no, it's just Bobby Kotick. Let's talk about
Hey,
it.
that was good.
Hey.
That was good.
Welcome
Very
to Press
good.
Start, everybody. We're talking about a piece of human refuse, allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
Not super allegedly. When you get
No,
it's
it's pretty
Press
good.
Start. We got gaming
Not
news for
super.
you. It's
Is that a legal term?
what's a
Yeah.
legal term?
Super allegedly.
Super allegedly. That's definitely a legal term. We got some stuff to talk about today. One particularly big one. Remember those guys, Activision Blizzard? Remember those guys? They were struggling a little bit with some crazy shit, like insane stuff when you broke it down. But what did you know? There's more to that than we thought, and it's the worst. It blows. Cammy, you wanna take us through a little bit what's going on with this Bobby Kotick situation? I guess for start with just his position in the company.
Bobby Kotick is CEO of Activision.
The Call of Duty man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the guy that like
pretty big.
facilitated the merger of Blizzard and Activision. Like he took it from a little company to the
Big
monstrosity
boy.
it is today. If you hear farting, it's not me, it's the baby, I swear. He just let one loose. So I promise.
But he looks so handsome.
He is
Yeah, it
very
does. He's ready
handsome.
to talk games.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Um, so yeah, Bobby Kotick. Uh, when all the Activision Blizzard stuff came out, when the lawsuit was released, obviously a lot of people looked at him because he's, the freaking CEO. Um, but I feel like a lot of it was like pushed aside. Like other people took more of like the rap, and there was a lot of, I don't know, like nothing happened with him is what I'm trying to say. He wasn't fired. He's still in the position he's in. And now an article's come out, published on the Wall Street Journal, that goes into a lot more detail than, yeah, exactly, a lot more detail than the lawsuit ever did about Bobby Kotick, in particular, his position with the sexual harassment in the company. So the lawsuit
Right.
was much more general. This is an article specifically, I'm not going to say targeting Bobby Kotick, but like holding
Explaining
him
The
it.
subject, yeah.
responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason nothing happened with him is because last time around, it's amazing that we have to refer to multiple occasions of this, but last time around, he had plausible deniability, which is like the goal and the best thing a leader in a big company like this that has shady stuff going on can possibly have. Because he can say, well, yeah, we have thousands of employees. Of course, some bad stuff happens, but we deal with it when it comes. And, I didn't know specifics of what was going on. If I did, I would have stopped it, right? Well, that worked until there was evidence to the contrary, and not just evidence to the contrary, but direct evidence that not only did he know what was going on, but he actively was hiding it from the board of directors, withholding information from other management, and basically covering up the misdeeds of management. So I know it's upsetting. Covering it all up. I know that's upsetting. I'll let Cammy keep going.
We should probably just say before we go on any further that the article and what happened at Activision Blizzard does involve sexual harassment. So if you don't want to hear about that, that's absolutely fine. Protect yourself. Go and Jacob will link. Jacob will timestamp the video
I
because I'm
always
reminding him to
timestamp
do it.
so you can find exactly what you want to hear.
So you can skip to the happier news at the end of this video if you want, but I think we should put in a warning. It's always worth putting in a warning. So protect yourself if you need to. Uh, it is a big article. It's like a 20-minute read. And when I went through it, I tried to take out all the important bits and just like as in like compile all the important bits. But that's kind of difficult to do because it's all very important. You
Yeah,
okay?
there's a lot here.
There is a
Um,
lot here.
we'll have to. I'll link the article in the description so we don't have to go
Yeah.
over all of it. But like big things is I think there was 30 female employees. It was saying in 2020 that reported it, and I guess like the main thing. Thanks.
Right.
Yeah, here you go. You're all good.
Yeah, I found what you're talking about. Basically the whole article is a ton of examples of the fact that Bobby Kotick did know what was going on. One of the main ones is, yeah, like Jacob said, in 2020, 30 female employees wrote an email to Activision leadership saying they'd been harassed and mistreated, and like Kotick got the email. He got the email. He had the email. There's another example that the article like opens on, where in 2018, an employee sent Kotick directly an email explaining that she had been raped multiple times by her male supervisor. Kotick obviously got the email, read the email, did not inform the board of directors. The whole article is filled with examples. So like if you
It goes through them pretty heavily, and it makes it
yeah.
very obvious that Mr. Kodak here is a morally questionable person as you see a lot
Mm-hmm.
of this stuff unfold. Because like we heard before with the big like general accusations we got, there's some crazy stuff going on. There's stuff going on that you think would be addressed immediately, and it wasn't. And now that it's getting more specific, I think it's all coming into light slowly but surely, which is definitely good. Hopefully they can get that stuff sorted. But
You better.
there's a lot.
There's there's
There's a lot.
there's a hell of a lot. There's, you know, parties that Kotick attended that included, you know, women dancing on stripper poles, DJs encouraging the female attendees to drink more heavily. There was it's just really awful stuff that there are more. There's like both a paper trail and people who have remained anonymous, and that's absolutely fine, but both pointing to the fact that Bobby Kotick did know what was going on. So yeah, and as well, um, I think in the aftermath of what happened earlier this year, Activision Blizzard were kind of like they were trying to make amends, and their big ace to like, oh, we are changing was the fact that they hired two co-heads of Blizzard, and one of them was a woman, and that was the ace up their sleeve of like, well, that's all in the past because look at us now. We have a female co-head of Blizzard, and along with all the more sexual harassment claims, we legally have to call them claims, but you know, um, it goes over the fact that Jennifer O'Neill, who was hired as the co-head, has now stepped down already. Um, just a month after being hired as co-head, she sent an email to Activision's legal team, sorry, saying that she didn't have faith in the leadership, that the company would never prioritize people in the right way. She said she was sexually harassed in the early years of her career at Activision. And the thing that gets me more than anything is she was being paid less than her co-head. So you have a company that is being targeted for their treatment of women and the fact that they weren't giving women equal opportunities and equal pay when the workload was equal, if not the women were doing more. Your ace up your sleeve to prove that you're a changing company was to hire a female co-head. I know it's stupid, Lachlan. I get it. And she was being paid less than her male co-head. I
Makes it
Cannot fathom
especially
that.
question because you know there's always those people that are like, well, technically with the experience, they're co-heads.
Yeah.
They're
They're
literally doing the same job.
literally
It's in the
co-heads.
title.
You would
Yeah.
It
think you
reminds
could
me of
get
that
that.
TikTok of the guy that's like, I'm going to explain to you why right now men and women earn different for the same job. You see, the truth is women tend to choose jobs that earn less. Like, instead of just being a doctor or an engineer, they choose to be female doctor or female engineer.
Pretty much.
That's really
Uh,
well. This whole thing to me, especially with her leaving, just screams sinking ship. I don't know how you. Of course, you're gonna have to do big time management shakeup after this. There's gonna be big changes and delays, and it's gonna affect. It's gonna get rid of the bad people. Hopefully they can restructure things a bit. But then you think about it too. Just covering this stuff up, letting this stuff linger. There has to be probably thousands of developers that are going to be affected by the actions of those people at the higher level that could possibly be out of the job or could possibly be affected by downsizing, because Blizzard already did, or Blizzard Activision, I forget exactly what it was, but a couple of years ago they did a big bit of downsizing and fired a whole bunch of people. And so it's the fucking worst. It's the worst shit. And fingers crossed they can get it sorted, and they can keep they can get back onto that. Well, I don't know if they were ever on the right track. They can get onto the right track.
I mean, with
Well,
this type of thing, there's been other companies that have dealt with accusations and ethical issues and mistreatment of employees. And there have been stories and cases of companies being turned around. So it can be done, but it requires fundamental change at the top. And you need, for a violent illness, you need a violent doctor, somebody who's going to come in and aggressively get it out and fix it. Because when you have a cancer in the body or in a company, the only way to get it out sometimes is to just nuke it. And yeah, it'll singe some edges and cause a lot of damage around the cancerous parts. That's the only way you'll get it out without just nuking the whole body, right? So in these cases, usually what has to happen is leadership change, new CEO, board of directors has to lead the charge on that. And the new leadership has to come in and say, we're not doing this anymore. And they go through all the accusations, do internal reviews. And if it looks like somebody was guilty of it, no second, third, fourth chances. You have to play hardball, get them out, zero tolerance, set that standard, and move forward. Otherwise, you start to get the slippery slope of like, well, we're going to give them one more chance, or like, yeah, they did this before, but they're better now. And once you do that, it's only a matter of years before you end up with what Activision Blizzard is now, where there's active sheltering for these reprehensible people. You ate that so fast, dude. That's ridiculous.
Well, at least it's coming to
Yeah.
light now, because we saw it with Pixar with John Lasseter. They had I don't know if you guys ever read up on that, but that was one, because I'm always into Pixar stuff with animation and whatnot. But they had like the Lasseter lean. There was like stuff named for it that had been going on since the beginning that they are now getting sorted, and I think they're doing better from it. But Ubisoft had the same thing. I think this year they had to
They
out
still
someone.
kind of do, but they also, there were, my understanding is that Ubisoft, it was like the guy that greenlit projects, like the main gatekeeper. He was the one that was saying that like a woman could never lead. I know. A woman could never be on the box art for a game and have it sell more than 1 million copies. Like, it has to be a guy. Yeah. And he was the one doing that. He was also, he allegedly assaulted people and all sorts of stuff. So they got him out. He left, which at least is more than can be said for Activision, because apparently they just didn't do hardly anything except like sensitivity trainings, which for most management was optional, which is amazing. But yeah, it says something that so many companies, big companies in the industry that we cover and and discuss have the same common thread of mistreatment of women, of being like frat clubs or frat houses, especially at the upper levels. And the only way you get it out is if there is a zero tolerance policy across the board. And who knows if this will be enough to kick the board of directors in the ass. But the fact they haven't done anything yet, to me, suggests they're probably just going to try to wait out the storm and just wait till people lose interest and go back to playing Warzone, you know?
Which I guess that leads into mad props to the people speaking out against it, the developers and all the people on staff there. I think you also wrote down Jim Ryan, PlayStation chief, spoke out about it,
Yeah.
and so did Phil Spencer.
Yeah, Jim Ryan. Well, first we should probably say that after the article came out, there was another walkout at Activision
Right,
Blizzard.
yeah, that's what I was talking. Yeah.
So yeah, so good on those devs. Jim Ryan came out, sending an email to all his employees that he was, you know, disheartened, stunned. Activision aren't doing enough, and also he said that they themselves had reached out to Activision, sort of like saying, "What are you doing about this? Like, you have to be doing something, and what is it?" And then Phil Spencer came out and said that basically he would be reevaluating the relationship between Xbox and Activision Blizzard.
Good.
So, yeah, really good calls on for like both of them. Whether that means that down the line, you know, if nothing changes, these games aren't going to be available on Xbox anymore. They might not be available on PlayStation anymore. If nothing changes, it's like good. It's that pressure that I think that, you know, Kotick and the board need.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people were saying online, well, they're just, oh, there's the slobber. You know, this won't lead to anything. They're just saving face and saying they're reevaluating their positions and relationships just to, you know, be on the public side, because nobody wants to be on the side of, you know, Bobby Kotick right now. And while I understand the skepticism, it actually can lead to changes and policy shifts. Like, people forget, but in 2016, for instance, when Donald Trump ran for president and said stuff that many people didn't find, shall we say, tasteful, we saw companies terminating contracts with the Trump organization, like the Miss USA pageant. Maybe it was Miss Universe, whatever it was. They terminated their contract with him. So companies will make sweeping policy changes if they think that the leader of said organization is reprehensible. It's happened before. It'll happen again. It's just a matter of whether or not they feel as though that's what, like, the public really wants, or if that's what's most reasonable to do. And so I think Cammie's absolutely right. We could see a situation where, like we saw it with Cyberpunk, PlayStation was willing to refuse to sell Cyberpunk on PlayStation until they fixed it, because they thought that that was reprehensible, how it was released. So it's possible that they refuse to release Activision Blizzard stuff until there's a new CEO in place. That could be very likely a move that could happen. And if that happened, I'd say within 48 hours, we would have a new CEO. Or they would get rid of Bobby Kotick and they would name some acting CEO and then go on a search for a year and a half, 2 years. But it's going to take some big company saying, okay, screw you guys, come on. You're clearly trying to just ride this out because Bobby doesn't want to leave his job. He took a pay cut to try and win over public favor. And by pay cut, like, he basically declined to redeem a bunch of stock options. And So like you're just trying to ride this out because he doesn't want to leave, and somebody's just gonna have to say, no, screw you, it's time. You've been an asshole your whole time. Like this whole time, it's been terrible. We can all agree. Like, come on.
Yeah, here's hoping. We'll stand with you, PlayStation or Xbox, or hopefully both. If they're both like,
Can
hey,
you
fuck
imagine
you.
if both of them
If they took,
That'd be
like
amazing.
if Steam,
oh shit. Not
like
only would
Steam
that change
comes out
quickly, but
against
that would,
Blizzard.
yeah, that would be it. There'd be no question. Oh, that's the thing
I
too,
mean,
with us all like holding out, because I've never been super into Blizzard and Activision stuff, but like Warzone was big. When this first happened, a lot of people were boycotting it. I haven't played it since. It's like that
No, I
yeah,
haven't
I've been
played
off the
anything.
grid. We tried, like there was the whole thing where people were saying that there was, like the new anti-cheat. People were already working around it, and so they were putting in these like they called them scarecrows, where the only way Activision could think to get around aimbot was to put a bunch of basically enemy models that aren't tied to players in the map. So if somebody has aimbot, they'll randomly aim at the scarecrows instead of at other players, which like you're admitting defeat if you just have to put in a bunch of fake players to try and
That's pretty bad.
I guess
I didn't know
make
that.
aimbot inefficient. Yeah, that's how they're getting around it now. Um, so like we tried booting it up to see what that was like, and the thing is still so broken. It's so bad. It's not fun. Like there's no reason to be playing it, especially when Halo just launched for free. Yes, the battle pass sucks ass, but they're fixing it.
I really like it so far too.
And yeah, Jacob and I were playing for like 3 or 4 hours just the other night, having a blast.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of custom game modes that we haven't really messed with. It's apparently pretty badass. So, have you played any Halo, Cammy?
Haven't. I mean, it's not my kind of game. It's not the sort of game I gravitate towards, but I know people who have played it and they're like, it's amazing. They're super happy with it. So I haven't heard a bad thing about it so far.
Yeah, I've heard some complaints. We can get into that. Would you want to move on to some Halo talk? I gotta step out real quick to grab my lunch.
Your chicken.
Yeah, my chicken
Eat
arrived.
chicken.
So, Luke,
Okay.
sell Cammy on Halo. While I'm
Sell me on
gone.
Halo.
When I get back, I want her to be like, we're all playing together later today.
Later.
Playing it now.
We're
It's
playing it
fine.
now. All right, go.
Yeah, so one of the big perks of Halo and Halo Infinite specifically is that, of course, it scratches the nostalgia itch for a lot of us. Because back in the day, like mid 2000s, late 2000s, and for the older generation, the early 2000s, Halo was like the multiplayer game. It was what you played online. It's what you played with your friends on split screen. It was the game. And for me, in my childhood, in my high school years and everything, when we had people over, we'd pull up Halo ODST. We'd do 4-player split screen. All these custom matches where you can create like, it's a man on a mission, where you can create like capture the flag, or you can create your own game modes for like King of the Hill, or for Oddball, where you have to carry around the skull, and like you could fully customize your experience and just have fun, and you could throw little tournaments with it. It was so cool. And for so long, Halo just seemed to be lost, and none of them really stood out or compared to the early days and scratched that nostalgia itch while adding something new. And this one actually runs really well. It's well optimized. It's graphically really solid. And it's just fun. Like that, you can tell they took the time to polish weapons, to polish game modes, and try to balance stuff. And it works great. The only thing that's problematic right now is how they set up the battle pass system for long-term progression. Because in almost every other major battle royale, you get XP for killing people, for winning rounds, for
playing the game your way is how you should be
playing your
rewarded.
way and playing well.
Yeah.
Like you're rewarded for playing well. how they've set it up in Halo Infinite is challenge based, which Apex has, but Apex also has all that other stuff. So the only way you can progress through the battle system or battle pass is if you complete these challenges, which are completely arbitrary. Most people don't look at them and don't know what they need to do to complete them. They're just playing, and if they happen to complete a challenge, they happen to complete it. So it can be something like play 5 games of oddball, or win 3 games of oddball, or kill 3 people while in the air with the basic pistol, or like it's a bunch of random stuff like that. And each time you complete one of those challenges, you get like 100 XP, and you have to work your way through the battle pass with that. And that's the only way you can unlock new equipment, new cosmetics and things, which encourage you to keep playing. So, sorry, the cats are freaking out. So I don't know who thought that system was a good idea. We've been talking about it for months. Ever since the first discussions of the multiplayer, people were saying this challenge system seems really dumb. They kept it, and now at this beta, when most people have been playing it, millions and millions of people have been trying it, unanimously people say, this sucks. We just want a regular XP system. Like, come on. And they've said they're working on some fixes. They've made a lot of challenges really basic, like killing 2 enemies, killing 1 enemy. So you get, in effect, XP for playing well. But ultimately, that doesn't fix the fundamental problem. It's just like reworking the broken system to sort of work like the correct one. So we'll see if they can tweak it. But I think a more fundamental change will take a lot more time and effort.
I've come up with a fix. I've come up with a way that they get to keep their UI. They just have to expand it. All you have to do is make the challenges per match, and then make them tiered as you go on through that match. And then maybe a couple extra, because you don't want it to be like, you play this round, you get XP. You want it to be round based. So you have ones like get 1 kill, 15 XP. Fuck it, whatever. They're not going to do that one. 5 kills, 10 kills, you tier it like that. Get this many kills with this weapon in a game, get this badge in a game. It should be badge based. We have these cool badges you get in Halo. It's one of the most iconic things about it. It's Killionaire, double kill, all that stuff. That stuff should play into it for sure, and you should have badges for that. So that's my fix, because then you don't have to change the UI. You just add a bunch to it, because the big problem with it too is there's only like 3 of them, 3 or 4 challenges at a time, unless you get the battle pass, in which I think there's 5. I might be wrong on those numbers, but there's more if you get the battle pass. So it's dumb. There's a way to fix it. That's my solution. I think it's perfect, and I think there's nothing wrong with it.
Basically, it's a hell of a lot of fun, and any problems are very fixable, considering it's...
Oh yeah, like another problem I'm not crazy about is the your collisions when you're hitting people are a little funky. I saw someone talking about it on the Halo subreddit. They were like, I think they called it soft collision versus hard collisions. I don't know the technical side of it a whole lot, because when it comes to collisions, all I've worked in is Game Maker really for it, and they kind of all work the same. You hit a wall, you stop. That's your hitbox, and that's kind of that. So my knowledge of it isn't great, but I think what they're saying is like it's possible for you to hit someone, and then there's no impact to them getting hit. They just you do that melee attack, and in like some of the older games, you'd hit them and they'd like bounce forward a bit or something like that. So. Or they'll stay in front of you and they can't just slip back behind after getting hit. But that's really the only other one. I really have loved it so far. I give it 8 wet kisses out of 10.
Well, that's very good. I mean, 2 problems, 1 minor, 1 major for something that's only in the...
It's in the early stages. It's technically in beta, I think. So
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. But hey, you know, it could be worse. You could have unplayable, horrific pieces of garbage. Wait a minute.
Oh!
Rockstar...
Do you want me to cover this while you eat your chicken?
What?
Do you want me to cover this while you eat your chicken? I'm concerned about your chicken getting cold.
No. It's fine. I'll survive. My chicken gets a little cold. I love talking about this because Rockstar is the cream of the crop. They're up there. You think fantastic video game makers, Rockstar, Naughty Dog, Hideo Kojima if you're Luke. And if you're more like if you're me, I definitely think I enjoy Hideo Kojima probably the most out of the three of us. I like just how fucking weird he is. But the fact that they allowed this to happen with something their name was on is horrifying because no one's safe. Nobody's safe anymore. Everybody can fall into these pitfalls. But if it wasn't obvious when Bethesda did it or when CD Projekt Red did it, now it's obvious because it's very rare in recent memory where people were like, "Oh my god, that Rockstar thing that just happened sucked." That doesn't happen too often. And so now that that's no one's fucking safe from any of this. But they apologized at least. That solves it. And they're going to give you the old games.
Yeah. So, I mean, they released an apology that did actually include a, proper, we are sorry, not a YouTuber apology with someone crying on the floor like,
I made a grave misjudgment. Yeah. The Trisha Paytas.
I'm ashamed. Crying in the kitchen. Anyway, so it did have an actual apology. They promised updates for the trilogy to bring it to the standard they're expected, the standard they're known for. They asked people not to harass devs online, which, I mean, yeah, don't do that.
They don't get to tell me what to do.
Yeah. You made a shitty game. I'm going to make fun of a guy that did the line work for this one scene. That guy that did the keyframes, this is his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make fun of the developers, don't make fun of the artists. In any situation, really. They tend to be clean.
But the last point and probably the biggest point is they are adding the classic original versions of all three games back to the PC store, and anyone who bought the definitive trilogy from its release to now and up until June 30th, 2022 will get the three original games free of charge. So
maybe this was the plan all along. Make shitty, half-assed piece of garbage remakes and then just charge people $60 for games that came out 20 years ago. Not quite 20 years ago, but a long time ago. It's fucking stupid. It should have been available from the beginning. First of all, if you buy Mafia 2 Definitive Edition, which, you've heard my rants about that, you get the old one with the new one. And they're, it's a all right step. You don't get the old Mafia 1 with the Mafia Definitive Edition because it's a ground-up remake. And I think, honestly, if you try to play Mafia 1 on current hardware, I think it'd be borderline unplayable.
I actually, for that Mafia Did Something Incredible series, I know. Mafia Definitive Edition did something incredible. I bought the original game and got it working. I had to tweak some I&I stuff and really mess with it, but it is really cool to see where it started and where it ended up. So even then, I would say you should get the originals just to appreciate what they've done, because they've done a lot.
It should be like a celebratory thing. You're like, look what we started with and look what we're able to do now. Isn't it fucking beautiful? We can make fucking art look like we can make fucking Tommy Joe. What's his fucking name? It's not Tommy Joe Martin. That's I think that's a NASCAR racer. I think it's just Tommy from that Johnny from The Room. Remaster that.
I don't.
It's great. You apologized. Don't harass the devs. It's saying don't harass the devs is it feels like them trying to take the higher ground, because we all know don't harass the devs. But what's your solution for it's like, okay, don't harass the devs. We know that. Sane people know that. But you released a steaming pile of garbage. Like taking this high ground, which I 100% am with, when you don't really propose a solution, and when your solution is just, we're going to make it better. How do we know you make it better? Cyberpunk still struggles like fucking crazy. And you're telling us you're going to make this better with some of the most beloved games of all time. San Andreas and Vice City, some people think about as like top games of all time, some of their favorites of all time. I know I love Vice City like to death, and San Andreas is fucking awesome. I couldn't speak for GTA 3. That's one that's outside my repertoire. But it's infuriating that this is even something that can happen.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, the apology is steps in the right direction, definitely. But
Actions speak louder than words.
Yes. Finish it with a chip.
That's right. Hey, and speaking of a bunch of words, the Game Award nominees.
I mean, we talked about this a bit on the Tuesday show. Plugging it. Hey.
Right.
But I thought it was worth mentioning again. Game Awards, pretty big deal for some people. The nominees are out.
Jeff Keighley loves it. He's
Jeff
probably
Keighley.
Yeah, or as
the
Jacob
biggest
said
fan.
the other day, he was like, "What's that guy's name? Jeff Keighley?"
Well, yeah, I
Yes,
called him
Jeff
Keighley
Keighley.
for all the Tuesday show. I was being a little bit too harsh on the Tuesday show too. I should apologize.
It was funny.
He could be the sweetest guy on the planet, and I'm like, he's a fucking toddler who wants to meet famous people. I'm like being a horrible, cynical asshole about him. Hey, Jeff Keighley, come on the Tuesday show. We'd love to have you, or the press start show. We'll have
Anyway.
got some questions for you.
Anyways,
Anyways,
like I said, he's done great things for the industry, but I think he is objectively a terrible presenter. Like, his job is behind the camera, not in front of it. He can't deliver 3 sentences without looking at his feet. Like, even a sentence without looking at his feet. He's just not good at it. So, like, the time that they had Troy Baker hosting and doing like some award stuff, or at E3 when I went, and Jeff Keighley had like dominated all of the big panels with like Todd Howard and Elon Musk, and they gave Troy Baker like this small tiny one. I don't even remember what it was about, but he was so much better as a presenter than Jeff Keighley. It was not even funny. And all anybody around me was saying is, why can't he be the one hosting the discussion between Todd Howard and Elon Musk, instead of like awkwardly implying he wants pictures with Elon after the panel, and like just weird, uncomfortable stuff. I could rant all day about Jeff Keighley. He's done great things for the industry. I think he should grow up and give somebody else the microphone, but that's just
me. We love him. I feel like we all love him, but I never have been more embarrassed for a human being than Jeff Keighley when I see him talk to somebody that's influential in the industry, because he looks like an 8-year-old. He's like when he sees Hideo Kojima, his eyes bust out of his head. Oh my god, it's my love, Hideo Kojima, and like that should be charming, but he's fucking 50 or however old he is. I don't know. Anyways, Deathloop gets 8. Ratchet and Clank and Psychonauts, not let me talk about Psychonauts, both get 5 nominations.
I just checked as well. Jeff Keighley is 42.
Jeff Keighley's 42. Oh well, he looks
he looks older.
That's mean though.
He does kind of look older.
He looks a bit older. He looks more knowledgeable. Is the way I like to say.
Oh, very good.
That's very PC way of saying that. You look wild.
Yeah, I say 42.
Like Gandalf.
I say 42 years young, because I don't like to think of myself as old. I say young for that old decrepit bag of bones.
Ancient one.
But yeah, the ancient one. That's what we should. We want him to be the Dorito Pope. Now we have to make him the ancient one. But anyways, Returnal got snubbed a bit. This one in my head, I was like, this will be like a quick 3 minutes, and that's just becomes us making fun of the Jeff Keighley boy. But it's always funny. I forgot about the Dorito Pope thing, because that was my favorite. That's my favorite moment. You should have done that. That would have been hilarious. Hey, and speaking of hilarious, Returnal gets kind of snubbed. I don't think it did. Bear in mind, I didn't
haven't
play
played
it,
it
so
yet,
I'm the
so-
wrong person to ask. But I
What?
liked all the nominations. I felt like they were good, apart from the stupid, dumbass categories they had.
Yeah,
Uh,
they've always had weird, like really weird categories on this stuff. Um, I'm pulling up the Game Awards website so I can see the full list of nominees. But like, I played Returnal. I just think it's really hard for a roguelike to get in like broad market appeal. The only reason it sold really well is because it was literally like one of the 3 games you could get for your PS5 that weren't like bug snacks. So because of that, it did pretty well. But I think if it released today, it wouldn't do well at all. But so I mean, I don't think it got snubbed. I think there's, if anything, Deathloop is severely overrepresented.
yeah, okay.
Um,
I'd say that.
it's
I
just
think
bizarre to me.
Cyberpunk,
I
with
really
its
liked
2
it.
nominees, is overrepresented as well.
Yep. You deserve,
Yeah, I think.
after that, you deserve no attention. You fucked.
Well, and
Best
I think that's
score,
part
I'm
of it.
okay with, but best role-playing game, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
I really hope It Takes Two gets like just carries
I really
because
like
it's
it.
so unique. But
It's
Marvel's
so good.
Guardians of the Galaxy also got nominated for some stuff, and that has to be probably the most surprising game of the entire year for me.
Isn't that
Like,
just fucking lovely? After this horrible, we have these games coming out, and we have Marvel's Avengers. That's just a piece of garbage, and then to actually be positively surprised by something like that, it warms my goddamn heart. I haven't gotten to play it yet, but I'm kind of looking forward to giving it a try, because those are also my favorite Marvel movies. I think Guardians of the Galaxy ones.
yeah, no, I actually have a video coming down the pike that's just called A Superhero Game That Doesn't Suck. And it's just all about Guardians of the Galaxy and how everyone kind of unanimously agreed this looks like it could be okay, but like Avengers was god awful. We don't want to be like disappointed again, so we'll just kind of not talk about it. And it launched, and everyone who tried it is like, okay, this is actually like really good, like really impressively good. And unfortunately, I think out of just an abundance of caution, a lot of people are going to miss it, which is too bad because it deserves a lot more attention than it got. Like, nobody's talking about it, even though it should easily be getting all of these nominations and many more.
But hey,
So,
that's just how it goes. Like we always say, if you like a game that isn't nominated for Game of the Year, uh, the game's still good. It doesn't mean nothing. I want Psychonauts to win because I want to see Tim Schafer in his little suit holding up a trophy. Because I was like following that development. I'm deep in the Psychonauts 2 lore at this point. But it goes how it goes, and I'm happy with the games we got this year. There's a lot of great stuff, a couple of stinkers, but a lot of really great stuff. Resident Evil Village, come on,
Yeah.
come on, that's a great time. A little short, come on, it's a great time. Hey, and speaking of a great time, for those of you that don't have a Switch, looks like you might be able to give yourself a little bit of a Smash Bros. Style fighting game here soon, with a game that honestly I thought was fake. I thought it was a joke, but it's not.
It's
It's
not.
it's multiverses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, this actually looks really good.
it looks
It looks
I
fun.
was
amazing.
pleasantly surprised. Like, and free to play.
Yeah.
That's good. Buy a bunch of Bugs Bunny
It's a
Cross
skins.
unique
platform.
art style.
Yeah.
Did,
Cartoon
like, did
Network.
they say who's developing it? Like, which team?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think they might have done. So let me look.
Kevin, the most surprising thing about it is that most of the characters are voiced by their actual actors.
Yeah.
Right,
That
yeah.
makes me very happy.
Like Arya
Yeah.
Stark.
Yeah.
Like, who would have
Shaggy.
thought that? Yeah.
Makes me happy. Especially with the Cartoon Network guys coming in. I want to play as Courage the Cowardly Dog. I want to play as Samurai Jack. I don't know if Samurai Jack was already announced for it or not. I want to play as fucking Mordecai from Regular Show. There's a bunch of fun stuff you can do.
Oh yeah, I think it's a great idea, and hopefully it's just polished and it's good, because like people forget the at this point Smash Bros Ultimate is what, 4 years old, going on 5. And yeah, they're dropping like occasional DLC characters.
Oh,
But
they're done now. It's done.
Yeah, now they're done. But like that's 4 or 5 years old. It's time for something.
And this is a good something.
Being developed. This is a good thing. It's being developed by Player First Games. It's their. I'm pretty sure from what I've looked at, it's their first game. I mean, it was founded in 2019, so.
Oh yeah.
Fingers crossed. So I like a lot of Warner Brothers stuff.
Make this game. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because Warner Brothers, even just a few months ago, there were many reports coming out that they were looking at selling their entire video game division.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Which is apparently why Rocksteady was really iffy on whether or not they should delve into another like heap of superhero games, or if they should try something else, because they weren't sure if their parent company would even still be a thing. Same with Monolith, who does the Middle-earth games, which we haven't heard anything from them for 4 years. So,
they got I thought they had Lord of the Rings Gollum coming.
I don't think that's that team.
You don't think? Well, maybe. Oh no, maybe you're right. I don't. It looks neat. Looks unique. Yeah, I think you're right though. But hey, that's next gen shit for sure. That Nemesis system. And that.
Oh yeah, if they can get that working, in some sort of innovative way, I'm all in.
Yeah, that's not Monolith.
Ah, damn shame.
Damn shame.
Well, hey.
So, yeah. Good game.
Good game. Good stuff. I guess we'll move on to our last point. It's a game we all were kind of raised an eyebrow to, if y'all are still curious about it. Good old Sifu. I don't know how to say it. It's
exactly like that.
Neat little game.
Sifu. Yes.
It's coming out February 8th, so right around the corner. So if you're not a fan of Elden Ring, we got a substitute for you. A nice little sweet game.
Sifu.
Rename it to that and give me credit. Give me 8% of the sales.
I'll take 5%.
Yeah, while we're taking percentages, I would like 35% of stock in Kojima Productions. Just so anytime Kojima says something that's completely butt-fucking insane, I can be like, hold on. You want to name a guy Die Hard Man? Oh shit, that scared the crap out of me. What a perfect snuggle up, Luke. We'll do the snuggle up intro.
Okay.
Outro. We're introducing them to a world outside of our own. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, it's also worth quickly mentioning Black Friday sales are on.
Good. I completely forgot too. Black Friday. Keep your eyes open.
This is your reminder. The sales are going on. You can get money off quite a lot of games. I know, at least on PlayStation, Guardians of the Galaxy is on sale.
Death Stranding on Steam is only like $17.
It's a good rainy day game.
PlayStation as well.
It is. Reminder though, that does not include the director's cut. That is only on PS5. So don't buy it expecting.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, so definitely buy it, because who needs that? Who needs that headache?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's your reminder. Your friendly reminder. You want to buy some games? This weekend is, Black Friday, whenever that is. They're live already. It's the time to do it.
Yes. Keep an eye out. Check Best Buy. Check Amazon. They're throwing all sorts of stuff, like just hard drives. If you're looking for storage, like if you want to expand your PS5 storage and get an NVMe SSD, a lot of them are like 30, 40% off. I just built a NAS, and the hard drives I got for it were 42% off, just like casually. So if you've been thinking of upgrading any part of your gaming getup, do it this week.
Sweet. Well,
Yeah.
we've been Crack Pipe Gaming. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Remember, smoke up.
That's right. Pack a pipe. Get a light. There you go.